even with all of the prosecution's evidence.
Would you care to elaborate, please?
The assailant fled the train and was caught shortly after on the Shinjuku station platform. Many nearby passengers filmed the scene, which then circulated throughout Japan. The impact may have been greater since the defendant was an active duty officer. There's no mistake that the man apprehended at the platform was the defendant. Upon arrival, station police arrested him and immediately performed a trace element inspection. With that said, there's a very real possibility the offender who ran off the train was an entirely different person. We have the evidence to prove that. What do you think of this? Is it clear now? Oh, really?
Wait, what? Something?
Oh.
Now let's...
Okay, the offender, and this is... What do you think of this? Oh, really?
Wait, what? Something?
Oh.
Now let's...
Okay, the offender, and this is... What do you think of this? Is it clear now? Oh, really?
Wait, what? Something?
Oh.
Now let's...
Okay, the offender, and this is...
Just a Maltese history.
Ah,
Thinking
If
now.
you'll
Ah,
kindly
sorry.
look at this.
What is this?
no, got it.
Displayed on the large monitor, please.
Wow.
Is that a diagram of Shinjuku Station?
That's correct, Your Honor. First, the victim and the offender ran onto the platform as soon as the train doors opened. The train car they boarded is here on this map. We've marked the offender's route with an arrow. The lighter areas on the overhead view are within the secure. More people pass through Shinjuku than anywhere on Earth in a single day. It's packed. However, this arrow with the dotted line reveals the existence of a small... That's what...
I see.
Yes. Defendant, when you were issued the verdict in your first trial, you said in a warehouse. If that wasn't a... Despite the... How did you manage...
It came to me in a dream. Strange, I know.
Mikoshi...
That's right.
Toshiro Ihara was found dead in his apartment 4 years ago. He took his own life. Afterward, the defendant sued the school.
Yes?
Ihara...
There were rumors, unfortunately.
And these rumors
They were.
of the bullies, were you aware of?
I was.
Would you say you harbored murderous intent against Mikoshiba-san?
Objection. The defense's question is irrelevant. Also, the court...
How does the...
The timing of the battery incident makes this case an alibi for Mikoshiba-san's murder. We believe there's a very relevant connection.
Very well. The prosecution's objection is overruled.
Please keep it brief.
Just as soon as the defendant answers the question. Did you harbor murderous intent for Hiro Mikoshiba?
Of course I did.
In other words, Your Honor, it goes like this. On the day Toshiro-kun's bully, Mikoshiba-san, was killed, the defendant set out to synchronize the murder with sexual battery. It became his alibi for the murder, and the prosecution and the court all but approved it. A 6-month sentence for sexual battery and getting away with murder. That's all the motivation the defendant needed to fabricate this elaborate scheme. His stand-in groped his accomplice, and then they swapped places before getting caught. It's all entirely possible.
Then the defense should present some evidence to prove it.
Wrong. That's not how this works, is it? The prosecution bears the burden of proof in criminal cases. If we go through all the evidence and discover the possibility no groping took place, then it's on the prosecution to refute that.
Fine. Have it your way. The defense's argument about the security camera's blind spot is flimsy at best. While the defendant was running, his female victim was chasing after him. Surely the victim would have seen if he had switched places with a stand-in. Yet the victim provided no such testimony.
The victim, Yui Mamiya, was an accomplice in the scheme.
Objection! This is an insult to the victim.
She's an excellent liar. Not only did she deceive Prosecutor Takano, but also the police on the scene and even the other passengers.
The court does not look kindly on character defamation. It's people like you who make victims afraid to raise their voices.
The victim of this particular crime was a plant, having planned to be a victim the whole time. All as part of the offender's elaborate charade you've fallen for. But for reasons unknown, the prosecution rejects the idea. Probably an intimidation tactic.
Excuse me?
Defense, please mind your manners.
Yagami-san.
Defense, do you have any logic behind this claim that the victim conspired with the defendant?
Yes, we do. In actuality, she wasn't the only conspirator who helped stage the groping. The bystander, both men, which means it's clear that this was a carefully organized and planned event.
Our investigation discovered they all additional 4 we believe.
Of course, we've simply as long.
Your Honor, I haven't. Everything else is in the defense's imagination.
Defendant, why did you agree to this appeal then?
You can ask my lawyers that. I simply didn't stop them.
How does the defense respond?
It's just as the defendant says. However, we believe his recollection may be a bit fuzzy. To refresh his memory.
Now what?
But please, don't display this on the large monitor.
Excuse
As I said, this is solely to refresh your memory. It's up to the judge whether or not we show it.
Please proceed.
That's just internet footage with no known origins.
No. This footage is from the SD card in the... This is a write once, anything after serving the koan.
I swear on... Stop it!
Defendant, in that footage, is the person in the white raincoat you?
Yep.
You could say it looks like me.
The person you killed is Hiro Mikushima. According to the autopsy report, he died sometime after 7:30 a.m. on October 7th. Therefore, it can only be that the person who passed through the ticket gate shortly after at 7:43 a.m. was not you, but your stand-in. As the defense, we cannot allow our client's conviction of sexual battery to stand in light of this footage. May we continue questioning the defendant?
How does the prosecution respond?
Even if the footage has an irrefutable source, that alone does not prove guilt of murder. I'd just like to state that in advance.
So the prosecution is denying the murder? Remind me who exactly is defending me here.
Good question.
The defense repeatedly mentions a stand-in, but where is this person currently? Who even are they?
I know.
The person on the station security footage was wearing sunglasses.
We believe he used a mask made from a 3D printer. If you look closely, we learned this from sources who may have been the stand-in and the collaborators.
Then we should call them to the stand to testify.